guest, and we have a special segment here that we're going to call Minutes with Millionaire Maker Loral Langemeier. Loral, I am so glad you're here. We're going to cruise right through this, man.
Here we go. Got it.
Oh, she's already thrown up her book. Why don't you take less than a minute? Talk about your book.
I feel like I'm on a quiz show. You're going to throw questions. I'm going to give answers. Like, here we go, really quick. Okay, let's go.
All right. What inspired you to be the Millionaire Maker?
They gave me the title. Like, this was McGraw-Hill found me. They wanted me to write what I was doing. I was mostly making millionaires in real estate. And they said, we want you on a 3-book series. So it was this one, The Cash Machine, How Do You Build a 7-Figure Business? How Do You Invest Alternatively? Did a 3-book contract. And at the final hour is how we came up with this on a focus group title. So I took the name and have been the Millionaire Maker ever since.
Wow, I like that. And it was under a minute. You're sticking to our deal. Yep. How did your own financial journey shape your current strategies in wealth building?
Man, I just walk the talk. I just keep doing what I tell other people to do. Living corporate life fully. I own nothing, control everything, and have it all held in trusts and protected properly. So I do what I say, and I actually invest alternatively. I run projects from construction, real estate, gas and oil still, cannabis, all sorts of stuff. In fact, I have a Broadway play coming back to the market this summer in New York. So another asset class. So what inspires me is I continue to do what I teach other people to do. So once you hit this, then you want to like do your own personal best. Like, all right, now I want 3, then I want 5. Like I want to keep going it. So for me, it's just fun challenge.
You're the perfect person for this. I knew I wanted someone who could really think on their feet, and I knew you'd be able to do this. So this is awesome. What's the most common misconception about being a millionaire?
Oh, wow. Wow. There's so many. Which one would I pick? I'm on like hot seat now. I'd say the biggest perspective is that we live this big bougie lifestyles and we don't focus on our assets and our business. And I think most millionaires really have their businesses dialed in, their investments. They spend a lot of time there with their team. I think a lot of people think they're just on yachts and hanging out and spending money and living this bougie lifestyle. What I find are the people living those lifestyle don't have a lot of assets. So they actually look good and not as wealthy. Not in all cases, but that's what I find. The huge misconception.
Huge. I would agree with that. Real quick, before I forget, because I will, how does one get a hold of you? Because these minutes are going to be of value to them. So how does one get a hold of you?
You go to Ask Loral, AskLoral, askloral.com, ask a question, make a request. And we have a team that answers those questions every day and puts you into a one-on-one session with our team.
Once again, this is Minutes with Millionaire Maker Loral Langemeier, asking questions. She's getting the answers into us in less than a minute. What are the first 3 steps you recommend for someone starting their journey to financial freedom?
Fix the pattern of your money. So first of all, learn to live corporate life, which I'm going to give a bunch of people free tickets when they click on our link. So we'll get that all set up where I can teach them what does it mean to live corporate life. So when you're living inside corporate life, like you have to, 18 years old, you should get an LLC, S Corp, C Corp, whatever's right for you. So you can now have tax deductions. So that's number 1. You got to make more money. You got to keep it through better tax planning and then learn to invest. The pattern that most beginners do is they make, spend. They have this illusion they have to pay off debt, which is not the truth. And they forget to invest. And then they lose that compounding years and years and years of money that can just, continue to stack. So it's the pattern of their money's got to change, but how they make it is the biggest thing, Kenner. They don't make money right. They think it's just a job. You got to have your own business, side hustle, whatever you want to call it.
Love this. How do you assess which business opportunities to pursue and which ones to pass on, especially because you have so many cool ones?
Boy, it has to be something really that I want. It's got to be a new asset class. Like I just actually about a month ago bought into a wellness center in Ohio. So it's something that I wanted. It's kind of back to my roots of an exercise physiologist. So at this point in my career, it's got to really make sense with my teams of people. But normally it's cash flow. It's cash flow, appreciation, opportunity. Where's the market? Where's the market share right now? There's a lot of stuff I would not do right now.
Well, of course. I mean, that totally makes sense. What's one's financial habit you believe can change someone's financial life?
Make and invest money instead of make and spend it. So
Yeah.
make money, put money to work, make money, put money to work. If you start that pattern and break the make, spend, and needing to have like look good in a lifestyle, that pattern alone, if you had to put a second one right next to it, is you got to you got to understand debt. So it's okay to have debt. It's got to be good debt. You got to carry it. And could it look like a credit card? Yes, but arbitraged against good assets, it's there. And I think people, I don't think, you know it too, people use their debt conversation to get really tangle them up and get them stuck.
And they're bad debt. It's really bad debt.
Yeah.
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 Here we go. What's one financial habit you believe can? No. Hold on. Let's get that. How do you approach risk management? Because a lot of people don't talk about risk. I think it's a big thing. How do you approach risk management?
I do it with a team. So I have some lawyers, some very high level tax strategists. I have people in the asset class that are experts in the asset class and current experts, not somebody who, did a project years and years ago. So I rely on a lot of market experts, have huge teams around me. And as far as risk analysis, it's different parts of your life. When you're really jamming and your business can create a lot of cash flow, then I find in those times, I'm willing to take a little more risk to approach a project because I know I can recover the cash flow. So a lot of that balance of can you produce versus those people who don't know how to produce any cash flow. There are people who literally do not know how to make money. I would keep a much more conservative approach.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. All right. Tell us about passive income. Give us some ideas for passive income.
Oh man, what's interesting is I don't know that I believe in true passive income because that means you're doing nothing. So I call it pactive, meaning you have to stay actively involved in your passive stuff. So for example, my apartments, I get, monthly, quarterly reports. Yeah, where things are. You're checking in. You're checking out. I only use one app. I use iFlip, which is the software. I'll put that on our gift list too. So we'll do. Steve, if you're taking some notes, we're going to do the DMI tickets and an iFlip app. But through an app, I manage all of my stock portfolio. So it pulls it in and out of the market. So I keep a more conservative approach, more dividend approach to the market because it's too emotionally arbitraged. I go for cash flow a lot. My passive income stuff I want some appreciation and later cash flow. I don't need the cash flow today. I want it to cash flow later. So whether that's storage, RVs, things like that.
Kind of a mistake I forgot. I knew you didn't like passive income. Hey, even I can make a mistake once in a while.
I just made up that word because I think it's a funny word because everybody has such an illusion about, my favorite lie about passive income is the people who say that it's easy to go find and get. First of all, if you don't know how to manage anything, how are you really going to be passive? You can't just let it go. You're going to have to figure out how to manage it. And there's got to be some activity to create the money to invest to have it passive. So, I just think it's an illusion of a word that everybody has a goal for. And I don't find that it's as simple as a lot of people say.
I think a lot of marketers and marketing gurus say it's easy, really easy. Just get them in the funnel, and then it's not nearly that.
Exactly.
Easy.
Or even real estate people. Oh, just buy houses, and they'll fill up your doors, and you'll be constantly in rent. Forget to talk about the TIs and the damages and the replacement costs and all the rest of the costs. So, and I'm a fan. I love real estate, so I'm not picking on it. I just don't like the illusion of passive income. Like, just give us your money, and you don't have to do anything, and it's going to be perfect. It's like, right? I wish.
Yeah. See, that's one of the reasons I love you. Everything you say, you're a guru, but you've gone through it all. You really have. In less than a minute, tell us your background because it's a killer background. Again, you have less than a minute.
Yeah, absolutely. Farm girl from Nebraska. My first life was exercise physiologist, built fitness centers on offshore rigs for Chevron, jumped completely out, worked with the Rich Dad Poor Dad brand, became a millionaire in 1999, and the rest is history.
Yep. Again, we're talking, this is Minutes with Millionaire maker Loral Langemeier. Switch a little bit to personal development. How important is mindset? I know it's a big thing for you. How important is mindset in achieving financial success, and how can one improve it potentially?
Well, so I take that approach very differently with all the experience. So I used to be more of the traditionalist that you hear everybody say, you got to be, do, and then you have. Now, I'm going to get you doing the right thing. So you're doing the right action. You know how to make money. You're doing it. And then through that, and you're in the right environment. Like, so if you want to be a millionaire, you got to hang out with us. So if you can read about it, you can journal about it, you can think about it, you can manifest about it. But until you are really living in the decision-making of our day and how we roll, like that to me changed my mindset, is just being with gurus and mentors and just watching them perform. So modeling is really the adults preferred method of learning. So I want to, through very clear action steps, 87 action steps in this book, right? This book, I mean, through very clear doing and sequencing, you do the right things. Now you're making the money. Your mindset will catch up. And the more you hang out with people who are making big decisions, understands risk analysis, understands business and finance, your mindset will come along. But your environment is as important, Kenner. It's so critical that your environment will support, right? The fastest thing, if you're not around supportive people, you're going south quick because you'll do stuff that they're doing.
I understand. A little off topic, by the way, or off script, even though you haven't seen any of these questions, I haven't prepped you in any way, because again, I know you can think on your feet. How does one get a copy of your book, or is that from your website?
So this one, Make Your Kids Millionaires, has to come from this website. You can grab it on Amazon. It's cheaper on Amazon, but you don't get all the gifts and bonuses and courses. So I have all the courses that I taught my kids on. Don't pay an allowance. So lots of bonuses and education products here. And then as far as my Millionaire Maker book, we'll put it on the Ask Loral link, and we'll give them a free ebook copy, or you can grab it on Amazon as well.
Okay. And again, Loral, Loral, correct?
Correct.
What does mentorship? Ooh, this is a big one. What does mentorship play in personal and professional growth as it relates to you and what you have going on?
I have been mentored, number one, paying other people probably millions of dollars in my lifetime since I was 17 years old. That was just a few minutes ago. So I think it's vital, because to me, mentors, the greatest mentors, have done three things. They open up their Rolodex, so I get introduced faster and I just cut through the line. They make sure that while I'm cutting through the line, I avoid costly errors, and they just share their experience to get you to the front of the line faster. So I wouldn't be here as fast. I mean, I was a skyrocket when I launched. I mean, that was because, started with Bob Proctor, but that's how then I met, Jack Canfield, right? Zig Ziglar, Jim Rohn, you name it. I mean, then the Rolodex has come out, and all of a sudden, I'm one of the top, women speakers in the world. But it was because of a lot of those mentors and coaches who opened the doors. I do the same to my people behind, and I couldn't imagine living without it. You know how many people spend ridiculous amounts of money in gyms and weight loss and all that kind of stuff, but they don't spend hardly any money on themselves, their brain, their knowledge about money. It's shocking to me.
That's where they should be. They're misappropriating their funds, totally.
100%. I mean, their goal, yeah, you want to be healthy and wealthy, but you got to spend some money on learning business and money, because what's out there is, it's an old school model of go to school, get a job, and you're going to live happily ever after on a 401k and a social security plan. If you haven't gotten the memo, that's been a long gone plan. So how do you stay current, and how do you stay in a community, which is really what I wanted to build and have. We've done over 10,000 millionaires in my lifetime. So, I've beyond hit, the goals I set out to do. So right now I love what I'm doing, and, I'm good at it. And what else would I do? To me, I treat this knowledge as a huge gift, and it's not mine to keep, it's mine to give. So I'm at that horizon in my life of having fun with a lot of people.
I think based on your fun, this is the next question, but I think, I know the answer to this, but I'm going to ask it anyway. How do you stay motivated? Is it based on because you're having so much fun? Is that what the deal is?
Well, I have fun in watching the success of the students. The other parts that keep me motivated is I'm in the game. I'm active in real estate, construction, growing, a huge marijuana farm in the middle of Nevada right now. I'm actively in businesses, and I'm not sitting down. So I stay motivated through a lot of stuff. And I have a daughter that's going to be a senior in high school. I've got another, 6 to 10 year run in front of me. Everybody's like, well, are you done yet? I'm like, done. No.
That's how you stay motivated.
It doesn't turn off. This just keeps going.
I don't think I remember you had a daughter, but yeah, that's what keeps you going. Now I get it.
Yeah. Yep, she's 17 and the son 24.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I know that, yeah.
I still got youngins.
Yeah, you're still alive. Still rocking. I love it. Okay, shifting gears a little bit to wealth management. What are the key principles for wealth management for someone just starting to accumulate significant capital? It's a little different than the first question.
Yeah, well, so first of all, the wealth management needs to start, in my opinion, with the corporate structure, right? So make sure that you're in the right tax structure. I don't know how many people I see using C Corps for assets that have depreciation schedules, or they have an asset that has a great depreciation, which is a loss against your taxes, all this stuff. And it's like, what's it doing in your IRA? You can't even access the benefits. So it's interesting to watch wealth management very clunkily be put together. So like our teams will look at the structure first and the tax structure first of all the assets and what they have, do all those reviews. And I have licensed people in every one of those categories who do that work. And then it's really getting on a more regular pattern of where do they want to grow? Do they want to go more in the life insurance? Where do they need to supplement their portfolio as they get older so they get out? I mean, because a lot of people, you're either too active with your assets or you're not active enough, and you don't have a cash flow model that gets you out if you did want to hang up your cleats and say, I'm done. I'm going to transition.
So, and then you mentioned those other professionals, again, a little off script. So, what is it like? What's the engagement like? What's the intensive weekend like? And again, I know it's going to be hard
Yeah,
answering 100.
so for us, I mean, the majority is we look at the foundation first, which is corporate structure. If you don't have any, you will get some, because if you don't have corporate structure, sole proprietors and a job are not going to get you the tax code. The tax code, 81,000 pages. You want to activate it, but you don't get to do that as an individual. Companies do that. So we look at their company structure, we look at the asset protection, we look at liability. So I have a whole team who does that. And then if you come with those structures, I have a team that does all the compliance on those, which is the paperwork, the boring stuff, right, that everybody has to do, making sure that the companies are linked into trust, insurance is right. So we really have this whole sequence of foundational looking, and that's down to bank accounts and credit cards. And that's a lot of the work I do, is the behavior side of how they spend money. Because you can do all this work, right? You know this too. You can go into all these corporate structures and what we teach, but if you personally still pay for your phone, why? Your phone, your vehicles, your part of your housing allowance, your wardrobe. I mean, there are so many things that need to be on officer and director benefits, and their deductions. They're not cost to you as an individual. And most people, they just behaviorally will not fit it. So even back to your wealth management question, it's shocking to me how many people are wealthy and still have a lot of gaps in their plan. It's shocking to me how they spend, randomly invest with people who have known to have lost the money. I think what I see with a lot of busy, successful, wealthy people is they just don't have enough oversight to pay attention. They don't have enough time or the right team for the oversight required for what they've built.
Well, I know you're a big hitter, and I'm sure most of your clients are pretty well heeled. But do you work with, on the lower end of the spectrum too, or no?
Oh, I get them broken, falling straight off a cliff. No, I get them right out of, a pretty big accident usually. I mean, I just got a client who's going through just a horrific multi-million-dollar probate course. And it's like, well, is it too late? And it's like, yeah, I mean, parts of this is too late. I mean, we get people in the middle of their divorces. We get, you name it, man. Well, we have seen it all. And no, we actually don't get people because our client, honestly, Kenner, is not broke. Our client is somebody who is typically a pretty high level W-2, which means overpaying taxes. Their corporate structure is not accurate. They might own some rental real estate, not protected properly. They don't have a trust. Their life insurance is wrong. Like, they got all these problems everywhere. So, I mean, they don't know it's a problem because they're doing okay. Like, our better client that we can do the most results are those that are actually a little like got it together, and we just can really adjust and fix. That's where we see massive gains. But yet on the other side, I take anybody, as you know, I take the babies right off the street that have never made a dime, and they're not babies, but I'm talking baby entrepreneurs, people who have never made a dime on their own, and teach them how to make money. So I'll take them at any level, but those that we can make grand strides for, like in less than 1 year, we see huge, significant shifts, are the people who've been really overpaying taxes, no structure, and just interesting spending and investing behavior. Those are
And
our
these
best.
people get to work with you, meaning Loral, the millionaire money maker.
Yeah, they get my cell phone. They get my cell phone. Absolutely. Yep. When you're at the mentoring mastermind level of our organization, it's called the Big Table. Again, we've been doing it since 2001. I started, what people say are mastermind and mentoring programs in 2001. I mean, because I had done so much getting ready for this. Like, what I did is I went to everybody else's high ticket, sales, and there wasn't a lot of high tickets in 2001. I know I was one of the first women to bring it to the market, and it was just interesting to watch. I looked for the gaps, like, what is it that I liked or didn't like about the group? Like, I wanted more hand holding. So what do I provide? Lots of glue, a lot of high touch hand holding. I wanted the guru's cell phone number. And like I know a lot of people never do that. Like, you're never getting Grant Cardone's phone number unless you somehow got really close. You're not getting Tony Robbins, Richard Bland. And I'm saying it's bad. It's just a choice they made, and it's a branding choice I made. I follow Bob Proctor because I watched Bob doing it, and I'm like, are you crazy? You're giving almost like all your clients your phone number. He said, Laurel, they won't bother you if you train them right. I'm like,
Yeah.
anyway, I took a long path, following Bob's really high touch, available, and people can do whatever they want to do. That was just my choice to do a really high touch mentoring and mastermind program.
I
And
forgot
we
about Bob.
create
I totally
huge,
forgot about him.
yeah, we create huge results that way.
All right. Once again, this is Minutes with Millionaire Maker Loral Langemeier. Sorry about that. All right, let's go to entrepreneurs. I like this. What's the biggest challenge you see facing entrepreneurs in today's marketplace?
Staying ahead of their market share. I mean, as Steve said, who does a lot of our, my reporting and working with me in marketing, it's creative fatigue. You've got to constantly be producing content. You got to stay up, like I know Instagram's changing, YouTube's changing, like all these platforms, you get it right. And I see so many people get it right. 6 months later, not even 6 months later, the algorithms change, the platform changes, the cost structure changes. Now you got to audit again. So I think it's an ever changing digital landscape that most people aren't prepared or have teams ready to do and ready to perform it. And then I think, for our industry, I'm going to say ours, meaning speaker, author, trainer, events are coming back to life. I just think this has become the modality that most people like and enjoy. And I think it's going to be an interesting cast of characters that end up trying to make it on the open market again. Because you don't see the next generation coming up, can't wait to put on events like that. It's really I'm not going to say a thing of the past because we do 2 events a year, but that's part of our fulfillment of our big table. I don't do just public straight up events unless I'm invited. So I think the industries are going to change. Distinctions are going to change. AI is going to, I think we're going to get the best and the worst of times with AI. We're going to get the best, but the worst is yet to be seen of how much it can affect people negatively. So I think there's just a landscape digitally that's going to be ever changing, and a lot of entrepreneurs don't have the teams to support it.
And I'm also going to assume by the group you put together, everyone's networking, so it really helps everyone as far as entrepreneurship goes, correct?
100%. Because, I mean, I don't care if you're selling dogs, sheep. I just got a new client who sells snakes, like big Bilbo snakes. But like, what do they know to somebody who knows real estate, somebody who, does something else? They all cross collateralize that, like, just knowledge, assets, like a lot of people who own traditional assets don't have an opportunity to own part of a surgery center with a bunch of doctors. I mean, the cross collateralization of knowledge and access to the kinds of diverse assets that are really in the world that you can't find because it's not Wall Street, we're Main Street. So we really teach us probably, a good talk track too, is just to let people know. I mean, we teach to the Main Street, we don't do anything for Wall Street. They are antithesis.
Yeah. You consider Wall Street the devil or what have you, right?
Yeah. Well, it's uncontrolled assets, and it's an uncontrolled market that's run by market makers. I mean, you can watch it in the crypto spaces. I mean, I know them. I know probably 3 of the top Bitcoin market makers. I mean, they can run that. They can run up 20,000 in a day and take it back down and do a pump and dump. We call it, right? You run up the price, sell off, dump it. It's an interesting game once you start really understanding it. So those are advanced things. So what's interesting about most people, Ken, is they can't ask the basic question, but they want answers to the most sophisticated. Like they're always going to get in the playing field and hit home runs. You just got to get to the playing field and hit some singles. So you get some confidence, you get some evidence, you get some strength, I call it muscle strength, like money muscle strength. Then you get some of the home run kind of tactics. But a lot of people don't want to do the time, the journey, the learning. They just want to all hand it to them or guess at it. And both of those are risky.
Very risky and not worth time, really.
Nope.
Scheme things. Once again, this is Minutes with Millionaire Maker Loral Langemeier. I finally said it correctly. What's one thing to kind of close up shop? What's one thing, and again, a minute per reply. What's one thing that you think you want to, provide as knowledge to the audience before we say goodbye?
What's one thing I want to give them? I'm going to tell them go to askloral.com. Actually, the link in the description, if they want, there'll be a / can we cut this in the edit right now?
Yeah.
So Steve, what's the link? Is it going to be / Kenner?
Wait, you cut out. So
I'm just going to say that. I'll just say it's askloral.com / Kenner. And what they're going to get is 2 tickets to our Million Intensive Teaching to Live Corporate Life. They're getting a free ebook copy of this and a free copy of your iFlip app, the app I use that runs my stock market software. So we're going to give a whole bunch of gifts.
We like gifts. I appreciate that. I'm sure everyone who's watching and listening to this.
Well,
totally
knowledge, everybody says knowledge is key, but I mean, consuming it and applying it is where it really makes a difference. Just because you read this stuff doesn't mean you got it. Like, I want you asking questions, say, all right, when you say do this, is that what that means? So you're really verifying your knowledge and your thinking. People don't do that. They just read something, they assume something, and if it's even 10% off in money, you're off quite a ways. So I want to make sure that, the audience and the people that are following me are accurate and they know what they're talking about. Last thing I want to say about being accurate is make sure I have a lot of ripoff accounts, especially on TikTok. So make sure you are on Loral Langemeier, spell it properly, Lorl Langemeier. So make sure that you're on the right account. And I have a lot of followers. And if they send you over to WhatsApp or sell you crypto or Forex, that's not me. We have a lot of that going on. If you have you've heard a lot about that lately, Kenner, but I'm getting a ton of people bait and switching to sell Forex and cryptos and foreign currencies and ripping off my little audience. So I don't want anybody to get hurt.
That's a huge, I hear you. That's a huge compliment, though. That means you've done something positive in your life that people are following you.
People are trying to rip. Yeah, it is sort of a backhanded compliment, but I hear people, or people come back and say, "Oh, but I just got ripped off." It's like, no, that was not me. That was some other. Again, AI is going to be an interesting, best and worst of times yet to come. I'll say that.
We've been in AI since really 2018, and we've always said it's going to be, there's some good, there's some bad that comes of it, and hopefully if you're well educated, you're going to be on the good side of it.
Yeah.
Loral, once again, as always, I totally appreciate it. I know this is tough. I mean, answering some questions, you didn't know the questions beforehand. I just I limited it to a minute each. I mean, dude, you did well.
Good. Appreciate it. It was fun interview.
Once again, this is Kenner French, ValSolutionsGroup.com. I'm out of here. Thanks again, everyone.
Take care.